Well, it's been going on for virtually all of my career. You know, my consciousness. You know, when I first started working in further education over nearly 40 years ago, you know, it was true then, and it's not really a great deal different now. There's a few companies that will be exemplars, but there's very large numbers where the skill sets of the leaders, the training of those leaders is really sadly lacking. And it goes back to some of these points I've been making earlier about training and labour turnover and management cost and that kind of thing. And the trouble with it is, and I'm sorry, but I really believe this, you shouldn't be allowed to practice just because you feel like it. I think there should be a license to practice. You know, why not like an accountant or a doctor or a dentist, you know? You don't say, you know, oh, I've got teeth, so I'll become a dentist. Why do you say, I eat food, I sleep in beds, and I drink water? Why on earth do I think I can run a restaurant, a pub, or a hotel? It's a madness. And for me, we're never going to deal this where anyone who chooses can set up a business because he or she feels like it in this particular field. I mean, just to give you an example, we did a study in people buying hotels and bed and breakfast places in Blackpool a few years ago. And there were 100 and, I think it was about 120 in the sample. The largest hotel was about 30, but the vast majority were hotels between 10 and 20 bedrooms, you know, that sort of size. Anyway, over 80% of these people bought their Blackpool hotel having sold a domestic property and not having worked in the hospitality industry or owned a hospitality business before. Some might have worked behind a bar, some might have carried a few plates, but if you were asking questions about have you run a hotel, 80% hadn't. And basically, you know, you get in amongst, well, why do you think you can do this? Well, it's only a bit of food, isn't it? It's only a bit of accommodation, you know. And until we get rid of that kind of mindset, that actually it's to do with domestic, it's really, there's not much status to it, anybody could do it, then we're never going to get this overcome. We're going to be doing this for the next 50 years, where people will still be setting up because they believe they can do it, and will fail. You know, you go to the Blackpool Hotel study, about 30% were failing, well, moving out every year, some failing, but certainly some 30% saying, hey, this isn't the way I think it was going to be, you know. And, you know, and that's when times weren't terribly tough. You move to tougher times, and of course all the puddings go to the wall, I'm afraid.